Oh man, I haven't done this in a while. Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back. This is week, whatever, it doesn't matter anymore. We're just doing videos. Today we're going over the 400Z, or just the Z. It's finally released. It's kind of a mixed bag. I want to call it the 400Z. I think I am going to call it the 400Z, just because it's weird not having numbers associated with the Z title. So, before we get into the video, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. We do a bunch of car shit. This week is going to be mainly just talking about the new car. We'll go over specs, trims, some of the color options, what we know, and basically what we can estimate the price around. But thanks for tuning in. Let's get right into it. Let's start it off with the basics. First off, congratulations Nissan, you have actually delivered. From what we can tell, the production model looks exactly like the Proto, if not even better than the Proto, by fixing the grille issue, which of course was kind of a big heat of topic. People didn't really like that it was kind of this big black gaping square in the front, which I honestly didn't have an issue with. I thought it looked pretty good. I saw through the stock point of view though. I saw it having a lot of aftermarket intercoolers and stuff up there, thinking it's gonna look pretty neat when someone makes a bumper or someone just cuts out the grill for it. But they fixed that, as you guys can see in these photos and clips of the release. The blue Z car got completely fixed silver mesh. I think it looks really good, this kind of grill that they went for. It definitely is 240, which is what they were going for, and I think it is actually probably one of the better front ends that pays heritage to the original Zs in the past few years. As a Z owner, I love the 350 and 370, but they aren't really, they're definitely Z cars in their own right, but they don't really pay homage to either the 240 or the 300 or 280. They are their own thing, and that's pretty cool. But I think Nissan knocked it out of the park with the styling. I mean, you guys look at the rear end with the 300ZX inspired taillights. I think they look really good. Some people hate them, some people like them, but overall, the styling of this car I think is a definite win. I think the community is definitely on board with this new look for the Z car. Second of all, let's talk about that name. It's not going to be called the 400Z, which I'm actually very disheartened about, because, I mean, numerical values in Zs, at least in America, are a very common thing. Obviously around the world they're called fair ladies, and not here in the US, but they've always had numbers next to it. Does it make sense to drop the numbers? Yes and no. This doesn't have a 40-liter engine, so I get that they're not going to call it the 400Z for that reason. They could have figured something out, but it does make sense that they're going just to the Z name. Everyone knows what a Z car is, and honestly this is kind of, like we said, an homage to the past Zs, so maybe just calling it Z is the right way to go. Let's talk about the engine. This bad boy is getting the VR30 DETT, which I am so excited about. If you guys don't know, this is the motor that is in the Q60 Red Sport from Infiniti. It's a great motor. It already has an amazing platform to make very good numbers in power. It is a V6 3-liter twin turbo, great motor. It does make 400 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque, which I'm very excited about. And I can just see this motor becoming the next VQ, if not better. It is a little bit more technical with the way things are run, but like I said, Z1 already has performance upgrades I know for this engine out of the box, and so does Concept Z out here in Arizona. So it's pretty exciting to see that this motor has made it to a Z car, so that's great. Next, let's talk about transmission. This is going to have a 6-speed manual carried over from the 370, which is fine with me. That's a very good transmission. It's very notchy, it's very reliable. I don't see an issue with that. The 9-speed, which I believe is sourced from Mercedes, I could be very wrong about that, but I remember that being rumored, is a 9-speed automatic. It's going to be kind of interesting. I don't think you should ever buy a Z car with an automatic, to be honest, unless you physically cannot drive manual, because the manual really does wake these cars up. But it is good to see the return of the flappy stick. I'm very excited that Nissan is actually giving the markets a sports car that they built with a manual transmission, with rear-wheel drive, you know, FR layout. It's very good. We haven't had this in a while. The Supra was there, but it wasn't, you know, the whole BMW thing. I never saw it as a negative thing, but the fact that they couldn't put a manual in the car really took away from what a Japanese sports car should be, in my opinion. Without 3 pedals, it's not really engaging in that sense. Let's talk about the interior. The interior in these cars are, in my opinion, phenomenal. Coming from someone who daily drives a 350Z, I'm so glad Nissan is stepping up their game with their interior. The hard plastics do linger here though in this car. They still have that center hard plastic, which I don't think is a big issue actually. I'd rather have that. Leather would be nice, but there is leather and Alcantara and suede quite literally everywhere. They got a 2-tone interior on the blue one, which I think is a little quirky, but it looks phenomenal, and I'm glad they're finally updating that. One thing I did notice that was quite funny, they literally have carried these vents in the doors from the 350 to the 370, now to the 400. Nothing wrong with them, they work fine. It's funny, you can see Nissan being Nissan, cutting the cost where, you know, people really don't care. The door handles are the same as well, same with the damn window switch and lock switch. They have always been the same in the past 3 generations of Z, which I found funny. But everything else is new. That big screen in the center, which is awesome. CarPlay, Android Auto. Great, we needed that. These cars really needed the tech, especially after the 370s. Very long run of outdated interior. Next up, the dash. The dash is getting a full digital 12-inch screen, I believe. Awesome, that's great. I like physical gauges, but it does make sense in this era to go to a digital screen, especially with the customization that you can do with this. I'm very excited to see how they integrated that. The steering wheel looks amazing, leather, beautiful Z badge. I think they knocked it out of the park there, taking inspiration from the GTR, because that's a great steering wheel, and honestly, it's a modern day car. You want a good wheel out of the box, especially with all the tech that's in it now. It's kind of hard to swap out and put your own steering wheel on without fucking some shit up, so that's kind of nice. I want to talk about the 3 gauges. The 3 gauges are returning. They look good as ever. I'm very, very happy that they're keeping them. I have loved having the 3 gauges in my car. It has made driving such a pleasure to just look over, see my speed, or my oil pressure, my voltage, which is up for debate. I've never really been a fan of that one, but it's good. It's nice to have. And it looks cool as shit, to be honest. Yeah, it's a 12-year-old thing in me saying that, but it's good that they're carrying it, and it's definitely a Z trademark. And by the way, the 3 gauges are going to be, I believe, boost gauge, your turbo, like your RPMs for your turbos, which is pretty cool, and then I believe voltage as well still being kept. I wish they would have replaced voltage with oil pressure, but I believe that's going to be on the screen for you, which is very nice, very cool. Finally, let's talk about the trims, pricing, and colors. When the Proto was going around in the yellow, wasn't a huge fan. I will never personally enjoy that yellow. I know it's a very Z thing, that yellow, but it's 50-50 for me. But the blue, and again, I'm a little biased, I own a blue 350, but this blue is good. Nissan knows how to do a good blue with the flake and the pearlescent. It's muy bueno. I'm very much enjoying it. If I have to get one, I'll probably get blue or black or gunmetal. Those are my 3 options. Let's get to the trims. So there are, as of now, I believe 2 or 3 confirmed trims. I believe there will be a base. There is going to be a sport and a performance. The sport is not very sporty, to be fair. It doesn't get huge brakes, and it doesn't get the shift rev match feature that was in the 370. And the interior also loses some of the features that the performance gets. The performance gets the big brakes, the nice raised wheels, which, oh boy, I want those. I kind of just want to throw them on my Z and see how they look. But it's cool that they're teaming up with Rays to make very beautiful wheels again. Big brake kits, I believe an exhaust, could be very wrong about that, don't quote me on that. And then it does get the rev match feature and some of the other luxury features to say, like heated seats, bigger screen for the infotainment, and some other things. If you want just the bare bones 400 horsepower driving experience, sport's definitely gonna suffice, but personally I think I would get a performance, just because of the small goodies in there that are very nice. On a side note, they have finally added a hatch release for these cars. In the 350 and 370, we do not have an interior hatch release. We have to do it from our fobs or from the outside button. They finally added one right where the 3 little, signals or the 3 controls go. They finally added a release. Thank you, Nissan. We really fucking needed that. It was very annoying having to hit my key and unlock it and it not pop. So cheers to you, appreciate that. And let's get down to prices, guys. So there is no confirmed price, but I believe COO of this project, who did the presentation for the release, tweeted out, I believe, and announced that it's gonna start around $40,000, $38,000 to $40,000 for this car, which honestly, compared to the Supra, better car, in my opinion. You're getting a lot better power, manual transmission. It's all Nissan. You're not having to worry about, crossbreeds of parts from different companies. It is exactly what it is. So that is all the information I have to talk to you guys about today. Are you excited for the 400Z or the new Nissan Z, not 400Z? Are you guys excited for it? Would you want one? Personally, I definitely want to get a blue or gunmetal performance spec in a manual transmission. I think that would be amazing. But leave your comments. Tell me what you're thinking. Are you excited for this Japanese renaissance of cars? I am personally excited, especially with Acura talking about the Integra coming back. It's up for games. So Japan, welcome back. Nissan, we have missed you so much. And don't forget to subscribe and like, guys. I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.